2022 was another year to remember across many different sports here in the Valley. Big wins and huge milestones picked up by many different athletes, coaches, and of course teams. Starting in the coaching ranks, legendary wins were picked up by a few, including 800 for East Liverpool and Valley legend Dan McKinstry in October, as well as Canfield's historic basketball coach John Cullen hitting 600, and McDonald's Tony Matisse with win number 500. Those coming in November and December. And difference makers made their names known in 2022, like Fitch softball freshman sensation Sydney Watts, who was named to a Max Preps underclass All-American softball team. Then on the hardwood, 1,000 kills for Fitch's Jocelyn Jordan, 1,000 assists for Crestview's Grace Auer, and a slew of basketball players also hitting the 1K club. Springfield's J.C. Mullen to end last year, Liberty's Demi Watson, and Ursuline's Terrence Pankey to name a few. And then another great year of football here in the Valley. Cardinal Mooney picked up program win number 500. West Branch's Drew DeShields and Salem's Jackson Johnson both shattered basically all their respective school records. While we also saw some of the most impressive single-game performances ever. Vinny Balone tossing 9 touchdowns and tying the state record. Fitch's Jamel James ripping off a school record 305 yards and 6 touchdowns in a playoff game. But not many were better than these two. Our WKBN Pennsylvania Player of the Year, Jalen Wagner, setting all of Reynolds' rushing records on his way to almost 3,000 rushing yards. And then our WKBN Ohio Player of the Year, Canfield quarterback and Indiana commit Brock Lowry, who not only became the school's career leader in passing and rushing yards and touchdowns for a career, he'll also be leaving the Canfield program on top, where Lowry notched a passing, rushing, and receiving touchdown for the 14-1 state champs. Then, of course, there were a few more record breakers that led their team all the way. South Range quarterback Billy Skripak and wide receiver Shane Lindstrom, both setting 4 school records each on their way to a perfect season in a dominant state championship win for longtime head coach Dan Yeagley. Then over at YSU, the women's basketball team claimed their first Horizon League regular season title in school history. Then come football season, Salem grad Mitch Davidson took over the reins for the Penguins football team, narrowly missing out on a playoff berth after a 7-4 season, one where senior running back Jaleel McLaughlin set the NCAA's all-time rushing record and was named Conference Player of the Year. Then plenty in the professional ranks. The Cleveland baseball team officially became the Guardians and entered the season really with no expectations, quickly shocking the baseball world and becoming the youngest team to make the postseason since the '83 Mets, thanks to legendary moments, most notably rookie Oscar Gonzalez pushing the team into the postseason. And the Guards followed up the Cavs' playbook of shattering expectations after Darius Garland and crew went from a 22-50 team to a 44-38 team. And then after acquiring Donovan Mitchell in September, this team is definitely on people's radars headed into the new year. Then there's those Cleveland Browns who have seen another roller coaster year. In March, the team acquired Deshaun Watson amid sexual assault allegations. Then in August, Watson was handed an 11-game suspension and returned to a 4-7 season. Despite rust, he rattled off 2 wins in the first 3 games before ultimately struggling too much and being eliminated from the playoffs, ready to gear up for the next year. But one football team headed into the new year still in the playoff hunt is, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They may have entered a new era without Ben Roethlisberger under center, but Mike Tomlin and the black and gold defense are showing they may just be fine headed into 2023. Highlights after highlights, 2 state championships in one day. 2022 will definitely be a year to remember in sports in the Valley.